Well. How the hell are y'all? This is the MVZ podcast, vlog, channel. We are watching some basketball, as we are known to do, since the NFL is still not back. Turn that volume down in case.
I still hate today on the NFL.
You really do hate the leaks.
I just don't like getting a billion notifications from all the people like, oh, Vikings play the Chargers week 12. Like, okay. Release the whole schedule or don't. I don't need it one game at a time every 15 minutes all day. There are a ton of games. Like, it's so much. Maybe I'm just...
And I imagine you have your whole release already now?
Yeah. Like, just tell me the schedule. Like, I'm not going to... I don't know. I don't put too much weight in the schedule. Like, we already knew the opponents and home or away. So, to me, like, the order doesn't bother me so much. I just know it's like the Steelers do pay... wait, what?
Look at that. 24/7's already picking a QB first.
Yeah, but didn't they just take Chris Stroud?
Exactly. That's why.
That is the most ridiculous
so
thing.
So people can see it.
That's like jarring.
They're clearly rooting for CJ Stroud to just completely fucking fail.
That's really fast to give up on the number 2 overall pick. By the way, do you see that the Titans are expected to cut Malik Willis?
Bears should take him.
I'm happy with Pittsburgh taking him, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, what a waste. And I'm like, for our third quarterback, like Pittsburgh always carries 3 QBs. So if you have Mitch Trubisky and, Kenny, to me, I'm like, for your third quarterback, just swing. You know what I mean? Like, swing for the fences. We had Dwayne Haskins, and no one cared. To me, I'm like, everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't because it'll get in Kenny's head that you got a guy from the same draft. I'm like, to be his backup's backup, I don't think he cares. You know what I mean? Like, and you should. Like, if you're going to have 3 quarterbacks, you should have, like, a high-risk guy or a high-reward, low-risk guy on your team. If you're gonna carry 3, I don't think you should carry 3, but Pittsburgh likes to carry 3. So I'm like, if you're going to carry 3, one of them needs to be the guy with just, like, stupid upside. Like have the Josh Rosen of the past that, got kicked out of the NFL. Basically, like,
the Bears have a no-risk, high-reward guy. Set the record for all the FBS records.
Who's that?
Stret or something like that. His last name is.
Yeah, like to me, like
his dad is a 11-time champion arm wrestler.
I say just swing for the fences. Don't it doesn't do any good if your backup quarterbacks are Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, like Pittsburgh had last year. It's like that's just fine. You know what I mean? Like all that's saying is, wow, if our first and second quarterback both get hurt, we'll be okay. Like that's all it is.
Tyson Bagent, yeah. He's got a little highlight reel. He threw for like 5,800 yards his senior year with like 55 touchdowns. He just lit the FBS on fire for his junior and senior year. And he looks good. But everyone looks good in rookie minicamp.
I think that Boston wins this series. I think they're the better team, and I think they just put their backs to the wall. Maybe that wakes them up. I think that Denver ends it tonight. Well, no, it's in Phoenix. So I think that one will probably actually go 7, and then Denver will kill them in Game 7. I think that the Lakers end it in LA. And then Miami ends it in Miami.
Oh, look at that. Bears are trending.
Da Bears.
Da Bears. Week 1, Justin Fields for Jordan Love. I hate that they're playing Week 1 and Week 18. I think that's the worst thing. It's either rusty Week 1 or probably nothing left on the line at Week 18, one way or another.
The Bears, they have a chance, right?
They have a chance to, that be in the hunt.
In some sense, like they could be relevant in Week 18.
But what sucks is when one of the teams doesn't have anything left to play for.
Yeah, just because they play unpredictable a lot of times. A lot of trickery and stuff like that. Just crazy stuff.
Steelers are trending.
I'm excited that we're facing the Ravens earlier in the year. Just because a lot of times we don't play them till like week 12.
Was that Antonio Brown?
Yeah, that's the last time we had a home opener in 2014. How weird is that?
It is weird to be 8 years.
8 years in a row on the road to start the season.
Boy, that was a good Steelers team. Though. 14. Le'Veon Bell, Big Ben in prime.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown.
Martavis.
All you're missing is like prime bust from the one.
That team, when Ben, Brown, Bell, and Martavis were all healthy, they average an absurd amount of points. It is very few games like that.
Oh, the Chiefs-aholic.
I don't know who that is.
Some dude that's been getting in trouble for drugs and theft. There was Chiefs-aholic, and then there's another guy from the Chiefs that's crazy.
They didn't pull any punches. The Chargers didn't in their release.
Oh, Tatum, number 1 trending. Not good. Not good.
What's the Save the Winchesters thing?
The Winchesters canceled by the CW.
Prequel. It got canceled after one season. I didn't even know they were doing it. So,
were you a big Supernatural fan?
No.
Is that what you knew to say? Check them out.
I watched some Supernatural. I liked it at the beginning, and they just got out of hand. But like the thing is, like after like season 6 or something, where they've already saved the world from the actual devil, they had like another 11 seasons after that. And it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a lot. Once you already do the apocalypse, it's hard to up it each season and it not be ridiculous.
Oh man, the real Big Ben and J-Lo arguing on the red carpet. It's just you don't love to see it.
Do you like the Steelers went from Big Ben to Big Ken Pickett? You know what? He needs to go by Ken. Kenny is a child's name. He can't switch it now though. He's already Kenny. And like the thing about sports is like you can't just change your name unless you like really change it. Unless you go like Ocho Cinco or Metal World Peace. You can't like, you know what I mean? You can't just be like, you don't hear anyone be like, oh, I'm Michael Trout, now I'm Mike Trout. That never happens.
Michael Vick to Mike Vick.
I never really heard Mike Vick hardly though.
When he came back. And then his mom said, no, do not call him Mike Vick. I named him Michael.
Yeah, you can try though. But I mean, the thing is society's not going to accept it. That's the issue. What about LeBronathan James?
LeBronathan? I can get behind it.
All right, so you ready for the animal serial killers?
Yes.
So excited.
I know nothing
other than the topic. So, number 8.
You gotta let me. So, animal serial killers, you literally mean singular animals who killed the most amount of people?
Basically.
Is there a time frame?
Ever. Yeah, I have them ranked in an order that I'll explain later. These, in my opinion, these are like the 8 most famous / like prolific. Like I did some research, and these are the 8 that I came with.
All right.
And I will say, like sometimes there are numerous animals, but like you'll go through my list and you'll understand.
Like a pack.
Yeah. So number 8 is Tilly. The subject. The subject of Blackfish. I mean, it killed 3 people
Free
in
Willy.
captivity.
Let's give him some positive press here first. Let's start.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: it killed 3 people, and it's just like I put him on the list, kind of as an honorable mention, putting him at 8. You know, just kind of like you're super famous from like people know who you are. Like you kill
Jason Tatum sucks.
You forever changed SeaWorld. You know what I mean? Like this one killed 3 people, and like a killer whale has never attacked a person. Now, part of that I think is overblown, considering they live in like mostly in Antarctica and stuff, where we don't have a lot of human interaction with killer whales. But they've never been.
They go to the Pacific Northwest every year for.
Yeah, but there's been like stories of them saving humans. So like,
right,
they naturally are not.
How
aggressive.
much did we fuck up an entire breed?
Right. So that one's number 8. and everyone's familiar with that one. Number 7 is the Sinkabetsu brown bear.
Is that like cocaine bear?
No. So in 1915, this brown bear comes out of hibernation in Japan and just decides to start murking people for really no reason.
Is it a brown bear?
What?
A brown bear?
A brown bear, yeah. And so, like, they immediately start to hunt it because, like, Japan's a developed country. And, like I said, part of the reason that some of these animals are able to wreak so much havoc is because they didn't have the weapons to deal with whatever animal it is. So Japan's like, oh, crap, we need to take care of this bear because it, like, just kills this family immediately. So then they go to try to, like...
Wait, where in Japan was that?
Rumoi sub-prefecture on the island of Hokkaido. But anyway, so he killed this family. There were 2 people in the house, and he just ripped them to shreds, basically, this bear did. Just trying to see what a picture of what they look like.
Actually, I was trying to look up the location because I think I read some creepypastas back in the day.
So anyway, so he ends up being killed within 5 days. So that's his reign of terror doesn't last very long, right? But he killed 7 people in 5 days. This bear does.
It's pretty impressive.
I mean, he was just like murking people for no reason whatsoever. Just like woke up angry. Woke up on the wrong side of the cave, I guess. So that's number 7.
Okay.
All right. So we got number 6. Osama bin Laden the elephant.
Osama bin Laden.
Yes. So I guess some
Here's the bear.
poachers decided to take some tusks off this elephant, and like they left it alive. So like, I guess they're not like real poachers, but he took offense and decides to kill 27 people.
27?
Yeah.
I knew an elephant would be on there. I didn't realize that part of Asia because like
Yeah. So
Thailand had some gnarly ones.
He killed 27 people, at least. And they said the interesting part was that he killed 14 of them within 6 months.
Okay.
And they said that they tried to like distract him with like fire and firecrackers, which typically works. But Osama did not care about those things. So number 5, the man-eaters of Savo. The Savo rogue lions. They made a movie about
Oh, wait,
this.
I know them. Yep.
Yeah. So in 1898, some construction workers were building this like railway or whatever, and they had never been to the construction workers, and it's Savo,
Yep.
T-S-A-V-O. T-S-A-V-O.
That's all right. Look at there.
Yeah. So yeah, these guys. Oh, is that like them? Like they just kept them, I guess. All right. So anyway, so they just struck at night and just start picking these people apart, like these workers. And the workers had never been around lions, didn't know what was happening. I guess they'd hear like their coworkers screaming and like dying and stuff. And it happened from March to December, so 9 months. And they killed around 135 people. These lions did. So that's pretty scary.
Those are some legit ready to get you.
See, I think the big cats are the scariest just because like there's not a lot of defense with a big cat. Like if a big cat just wants to kill you.
I think it's because their paws just never really get the credit they deserve because...
And like you can't like climb a tree, they'll just follow you. So number 4 is the lions of Njobe. It's going to be the same thing. Njombe. So like it's just more lions. But the thing about these is 2005.
Is that not them?
I mean, there might be a movie that got made in 2005 or something because this happened in 1932. But anyway, so what happened was there was this disease called rinderpest, and the British decided we're gonna get rid of this disease because we don't want our cows to die, right? So they killed basically all of their livestock and basically killed all zebras and antelope. That was their solution, right? So then this pride of lions had no food anymore. So the Pride decides we need to hunt people.
Because we need to eat. You got to go for game.
So between 1932 and 1947, they killed an estimated 1,500 people. And the reason it's only 4 on my list is because it's a whole Pride. And the reason is like super obvious. Like you can't take away all their food. So what they ended up having to do is they decided, game warden and hunters decided like we need to kill this entire Pride of Lions. Which is what they did. And like it's one of those things, I think that sounds crazy, but at the same time, you kind of had to, right? Because otherwise they're going to breed and like they're going to have men that leave that Pride and then teach their other kids how to kill humans. And you don't want humans to be on the food chain.
It's true. I get that.
So yeah, I just think that's, like I said, that's the reason they're number 4 on my list is just because it was an entire Pride instead of like one animal.
Basing that averages.
And the fact that like they're pretty provoked. Like they didn't have a choice. It wasn't like the bear that just woke up and decided I'm gonna go out and murk people. It was like they didn't have food, so like they didn't have. You know what I mean?
So yeah,
like,
it's not, at that point, it's not even like Tillicum's fault either, because like
yeah, and that's what he's on the list.
Let's take this giant animal and put him in a bathtub.
And there's no proof that he was trying to kill him. He might have just been playing. They didn't know. So number 3, this one's my favorite on the list. Gustave the crocodile. So he is still alive, just by the way. He's still out here patrolling. His nickname
is he in Florida?
He's in
Burundi.
Yeah, Burundi. His nickname is the Burundi Butcher. There's some like differences in how many people he's killed. Some estimate between up to 200, some estimate up to 300. But regardless, he's a crocodile who straight kills people all the time on purpose. And they said, look at that picture. I like that picture on the left of his head circled with all the others. You can see how big he is.
Oh, he's a monster.
So he's 20 feet long, roughly, and 2,000 pounds.
So he's like an alligator with croc attitude, huh?
He's a croc.
A crocodile with alligator attitude.
The problem is he's too big. So their thought process is he's so large that he can't eat typical croc food. And he has been seen eating hippos in Africa. And so, yeah, he's just a problem. They said there's been the reason he's my favorite, there have been numerous attempts on his life because he's killed so many people. And he has bullet wounds in his head and his arms, but he's so big and so tough that, like, you could see just, like, circular scars on him. But, like, he just, like, took them like a freaking boss.
That is crazy.
So, yeah, they don't know where he's at for sure. But they said that they...
So he's like honestly, he's a total anomaly.
Yeah.
He's roughly 100 years old, who should be nearly toothless, but a full mouth of teeth.
Basically,
and still growing.
He started... The thing is, they have no idea how many people he's killed, because I guess he started killing people, like, in the 80s.
3 bullet scars.
Yeah, as I said, he's a freaking boss. They made a movie on him called Primeval, like a scary movie. But yeah, it's... Oh, there it is, because obviously the basis of Primeval. Like I said, he's my favorite, just because, like, dude is just...
He's got earned lore at this point.
And, like, also, like, there's no reason for it other than he was just like, you know what, I just love killing.
Fuck you guys.
But, like, and you know how scary it is? Like... I'd be petrified if I lived in Burundi and you're like, I have to go fishing today. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
my family does have to eat, but yeah, he's still out there, guys.
Yeah. And, like, he's my favorite because most of these, like I said, happened in, like, the early 1900s in, like, societies where they didn't have guns. So, like, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, this guy's, like, straight taking bullets.
He's got,
it's just
yeah. He has, like, legit HD pictures of him.
Yeah, exactly. He has, like, videos of him swimming around. And he's just like, all right, hey, get that picture a little closer, man. All right, number 2, the leopard of Punar. And again, it's early 1900s. This leopard, for whatever reason, they don't know why, just decides that he's going to eat people. And I guess he learned how to sneak into people's houses when they were sleeping, and they're like little huts, and would just eat them and just drag them out of their beds and kill them. And they don't know how many people he killed, but they said up to 400 before Jim Corbett, who was a professional game killer. I guess he he was some guy who back in the day, he would go to these countries that, were just getting ravaged by man-eating animals and taking them out. So, like, now we're never going to get to an animal that kills 400 people again because people have guns there. And if, like, it got to where someone's killed 20, they would just ask for help in, like, a developed country. You know what I mean? Would come and take that animal out.
We're not going to let this happen again.
Number 1. This is awesome. The Champawat. Champawat. Tigress. And she was a freaking boss. Oh, there she is. Her dead head.
A Bengal tiger.
Yes. She killed 436 people in 7 years. She averaged 1 kill a week for 7 years. They said that the craziest part about her is she broke villages. So they were just so scared of her. She killed people in daylight. There was not, out of the 436, not one of them was killed at night. She, like, they would just hear, like, someone, like, screaming and crying and hearing the tiger roaring and ripping him apart, but there's nothing they could do about it because, like, they didn't have guns. And, she would stand in between the different villages because they have a couple different villages in the area, and she would just stand in the paths. Be like, someone has to go to this other village, and they won't make it. And I guess she was so smart that, like, she started learning, like, their patterns for, like, when people would go out by themselves to go get wood in the woods or, like, to go get water. And she was, like, stalking people. And, like, I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of, like, tigers hiding in the jungle and stuff. They're basically invisible. Yeah. And then so she was basically stalking people, knowing where they had to go and just killing them. And like I said, the craziest part is she killed 436 within 6 years. That is not very long. Like, Gustave has been murking people for like 40 years. And he didn't get as many as she had. And here's the interesting part. So the reason they think she killed people is because she was shot by a human and it broke her teeth. So they said that they didn't think she could really hunt other animals as well with her, like, mangled teeth. But then some people also believe that it was partially revenge. She's like, F humans then. Like, you come for me, I'm coming for you. But yeah, 436. Like, in 6 years. Like, they said when Corbett came to help them, he went to a village and didn't see anybody for hours. And then when he eventually found them, they're like, what? They were all hiding, and he asked, like, why they were hiding, and they were like, the tiger. Like, she had broken the society of people. So she's the best. She's the GOAT.
So I'm sure, like, there was just crazy amount of, like, bedtime stories told about her.
Oh my goodness! Still, I mean, like
2 generations, but like,
but I'm saying still, like, people are like, remember that tiger that killed like everybody? Like, because how many people you think live? I mean, I guess it was India, so probably a ton.
Like that, the lore would spread very quickly.
But and the crazy part is Bengals, especially women, don't have a very big, like, radius of travel. But she had like a 20-mile radius. She went through like 3 different towns. And basically was like, she basically paralyzed 3 societies by herself. Because, like, and none of them had guns, so, like, they couldn't do anything. And to me, that, you know how scary that would be to live in that time? I mean, there's nothing you could do. Like, you could hit it with a stick. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
even sleeping with a machete, they walk.
Yeah.
Silently.
You can't jump in the water. Tigers swim. You can't climb. Tigers climb trees. Like, you have no chance against a tiger.
They're a pretty ultimate killing machine.
Yeah, they're. I mean, that's why there have been documented cases of Siberian tigers, like, killing bears. Like, you know, like, tigers are. So that's why she's the GOAT. But Gustave's still my favorite. Mostly because he's still alive. And, like, just like we talked about, like, on that list, it was all, like, 1915, 1918. You know what I mean? Like, most of them were in the early 1900s when, like, our guns weren't that good. Gustave's still out here doing it, and, like, we have machine guns now. Like, like, and Gustave's like, you think I care about your AR-15? Like, and the hard part about someone like him is, like, how are you going to tell it's him? Other than there's just a really big croc. Like, you don't know until it's too late. Like if you go hunting for one, you know, like it's gonna be really hard unless they like try to like, I guess put bait out there or something to like try to bait him. They just put goats on the side of the river, but they're gonna end up sacrificing a lot of goats to other Nile crocodiles. But yeah, like I said, the reason he's not hired too is like he's avoidable. Just like, don't go in the water, and you're not. I mean, they have to, but like at this, you know what I mean? Like, the leopard was taking people out of their beds at night. Like that's super scary.
I couldn't imagine.
They're having problems with that with leopards again now in India. There's enough deforestation right now that they're
running out of places to hunt.
Yeah, leopards are starting, and there's such a big overpopulation in India right now of dogs, stray dogs. The leopards are coming into the villages at night and taking dogs because they're easy for a leopard. And the problem is like everyone's like kids can't be out at dark now. Like if a leopard's coming through town to take a dog, like they might take a kid. Like they're not gonna be above it.
Why would they?
No, exactly. So like,
Can't even fall for it.
no. But like I said, that's why. Well, we're not gonna have another animal like that list. We can have like another one like the bear that just like wakes up because it killed 7 people in 5 days. Like that can happen still. Because like if a bear gets some people on like a ski trip, you know what I mean? Like you're not ready for bears necessarily. Like, but like like you're not gonna get the tiger that kills 436 because by the time. Well, like the lions of Njobe, I was telling my dad about it earlier. He's like 1,500, like that happened for 15 years, and like England just let it happen. I'm like, England probably didn't really care about that part of the country, like that part of the world, 1932. Yeah, now there's no way.
So for my Bears fans here. I can't think of a reason I shouldn't go.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that expensive now.
No TV to worry about.
Yeah, with no Tom in town. What week is it?
2.
That sucks. Because you always hope that it's like week 15, so like the Tampa fans have given up any hope that.
Oh, the snowbirds are here then too.
Yeah, but that's what I always hope for with when like I was going to like Cleveland when they sucked and Cincinnati when they weren't good. It was like if I was going to go to one of those games, I wanted it to be where I heard your mic isn't working.
Oh, shit, I muted myself. My bad.
Well, there's that.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh plays Jacksonville, but in Jacksonville. How annoying.
Yeah, we could go to that.
I meant in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
At home.
Okay, you don't know the difference between home and away?
I did. I just said it wrong. Like I knew what I was thinking when I read it. Yeah, so Pittsburgh doesn't have anything in Florida. We don't play Miami this year.
I wouldn't even want to go to Miami because like it's crossing the state is kind of shitty.
I'm doing that Friday.
Oh yeah? You mean tomorrow?
Yeah, that too. That as well. My sister gets her doctorate in Fort Lauderdale tomorrow, so I have to cross the state.
Oh, look at the Burt Kreischer, the Machine movie about his time before he became the comedian.
Well, they're making a movie called The Machine right now?
In theaters May 26th.
Is it about his trip in Russia?
Yep.
Nice. I just read his
book?
His book.
Life of the Party?
Yep.
I read it the week it came out. It came out like 6 years ago.
Yeah, he was the bassist for Van Wilder.
Yep.
And like, so I'm surprised to do another one called The Machine. I just saw a Rainn Wilson joke that was really funny. They had him on the Burt Kreischer's podcast, and Rainn Wilson.
The Two Bears, One Cave.
No, he looks at me. He's like, "You know what my favorite part of your work is?" And Burt's like, "What?" He goes, "Tom Segura."
Ouch.
And Burt's like laughing. He goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "I got here. I thought Tom would be here." And I was like, "Oh no, it's not the smart, clever guy. It's the
the big dumb drunk.
Yeah, he's the big dumb shirtless guy.
I love Rainn. He was just on the Office Girls Party podcast.
You know, I can't. I'm gonna say something kind of embarrassing. I loved the book Life of the Party. I've never watched a Bert Kreischer stand up.
So,
and I'm a huge stand up guy, and I've never seen him.
As a huge stand up guy, let me tell you, I've watched all his Bert stuff. He didn't get popular again until his story about being the machine got. He's been a comedian since the 80s. Mm-hmm. But he was a shitty comedian. But he was a shitty comedian for 25 years. Mm-hmm. He got famous from the story, became an actor and then a host. Like, I loved his show on Travel Channel, which Trip Flip. Loved it. Me and my mom watched it. That was one of my first things I bought for like when you could buy seasons of shit on like Apple. So I bought that. His first major stand-up telling that story was not good. His last two, now that he's doing the podcast and he surrounds himself with really funny people, he's become a better joke writer. But the one that he just did, it's funny. Like
Tom Segura is funny. This goes. He's so.
What's funny. Not fair? Tom Segura is a top 3 comedian on the planet.
Are you talking currently?
Over the last 10 years, every special is pretty banging.
Yeah.
I don't like his new one as much, but like he had 3 in a row of just brilliance. Bill Burr, I think, the amount that they put out of content all the time, like Bill Burr and Chappelle, just constantly just writing and releasing shit. It's just great. Someone who deserves some credit how good they are now, Matt Rife. Too good looking, but it's a crowd work thing. Okay, so it's crowd work, kind of hokey, but great at it.
It's pretty hokey.
But like Taylor Tomlinson, she's really good too. She's funny, but you can't roll your eyes at Matt and not roll your eyes at Taylor though,
because her stuff is simplistic.
So it's a lot of her crowd work, and that's how she got famous. It was during the pandemic doing crowd work.
That's true. No, I agree. The crowd work stuff I don't like, but I've seen her specials and she's really funny. I've not seen a Matt Rife special, but a lot of what I see on TikTok and stuff, I'm like a lot of it, I'm just like, it's so easy. Like, you know how many comedians can do that exact same thing? Like, a lot of what
Probably.
He does.
I think part of the benefit is that he's so good looking.
No, 100%.
It just
that's
like
90%.
It plays into it. So like I got to give him credit for it.
No, like his funniest stuff is like when a girl's just sitting on me, he's like, okay, meet you at the show. No.
Yeah, so
like, that's the funniest
I enjoy that.
Yeah. Who do you think? I think the best ever is Jerry Seinfeld. Honestly, like
I can't agree with it because observational comedy is not my favorite. I like storytelling.
Well, I'm not saying even my favorite. I'm saying I think he's the best. He didn't cuss in his stuff. Like
cussing doesn't take away or improve anything for me. Bill Cosby didn't either.
Right. No, but I'm saying he was very funny. Without having to use a cuss word to get a laugh. Like he actually had a thing where he said that when he was first touring, that he did this joke and it bombed, and it got a huge laugh. He did a joke and it got a huge laugh. He did a joke and it got a huge laugh, and he's using the F word at the end of it. So then he was like, "Is the joke good, or are people just laughing because I'm cussing?" So he took the F word out and no one laughed. And he said that was early on, and he said, so I decided I'm never going to use cuss words again as my punchline. Because I'm not going to be a shock factor guy. And the reason I thought he was so good is he would just talk about anything and it would be funny. He'd talk about airplanes or freaking cans, and he had a whole show about it.
Right. He's an observational comedy.
Yeah, so funny. Like I said, so good. Like I said, and the thing that made him good is he could do that forever. About whatever, he can do it now.
He's very smart that he can do it.
I like intellectual comics. Tosh is my all-time favorite. We're talking about.
So you're a big fan. You're big fans like double entendre stuff.
I wouldn't say Tosh does double entendres.
The way he tells the story and it can have double meanings. He does a lot of that.
It's the observation stuff, like the fact that the hint of reality in the relatability and in reality.
You must like that he hates everything.
Yeah, his negative stuff's funny.
So you probably like Jeselnik too, then,
Don't
right?
like Jeselnik.
How can you not like? They're so similar. Well, they even have the same show.
People think that because they're both negative, but again, Tasha's is more intellectual and observational and realistic, to where Jeselnik makes up terrible stories with just shocking punchlines. I don't like fictional comedy. Like, I don't like Kevin Hart sometimes for that reason. Like, he's like, has a story. He's like, I'm running, and this ostrich is running with me. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay, first off, I almost pissed my pants laughing the first time I heard that story.
I know. I'm saying, like, everyone has different opinions. But for me, like, I just, like, I'm out. I'm like, that can't happen. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, I'm like, in a movie, hilarious. But I don't think, like...
He's a great storyteller.
He's a great storyteller.
But I think he oversaturated himself.
But that's
he was everywhere.
Right. And, like, so that's not my thing. Like, he's a great storyteller, but I like people who kind of, like, Tosh will have a joke about, like, he's talking about orphanages. He goes, do you know where an orphanage is? Like, that's hilarious, because no one does. Like, you know, like, stuff like that, like, real world... Like, Jim Gaffigan in his early days was like that. A lot of observational stuff that was really funny. Those are my favorite types.
Part of my love for Gaffigan, though, like, relatability.
Yeah, like I said, I love all that stuff. I like Tom Segura because, like, his stories, whether true or not, sound like they could be. Like, when he's, like, talking about having diarrhea in the bath, and I was like, that could be funny. That could happen, and it's funny. I like, one of my favorite jokes all time is a Ron White joke about Tiger Woods. So funny.
Can I give you give me the abridged?
Wife hated Tiger Woods because he cheated on his wife, and he was like, "Well, you like Dave or whatever the guy's name is." And that was like her friend's husband. She goes, yeah, well, he cheated on his wife one time. Tiger cheated on him a bunch of times. And he goes, okay, here's where women are getting it misconstrued. He's like, Tiger has been offered sex by 10,000 women, and he slept with 12 of them. Her friend's husband, Dave, has slept with 100% of the women who have offered him sex. And that's hilarious. Again, that's a real world, like... Aziz has some good stuff too, like that. I like clever stuff about the real world, like thinking about things in ways that I didn't.
So you love the Ron White joke, but that's Dan Tosh's joke first. Dan Tosh did that joke before he even moved to Florida. About Tiger Woods of men versus whores.
Yeah, same exact type of joke.
It even said Tiger Woods.
Yeah. But I like that one.
How do you feel about like Jeff Foxworthy then? Is it too hokey, too punchliney?
I'm not listening to a lot of Jeff Fox. I haven't listened to enough Jeff Foxworthy.
So I gotta. So
this looks awful. I'll probably.
Is that like Meg 2?
Yeah. They've lost. Like the first one was like there might be a megalodon. This one there's like 40 megalodons.
How about like John Mulaney then?
I love John Mulaney.
Big fan of John Mulaney.
John Mulaney is just the modern Seinfeld.
That's fair.
I mean, honestly, like a lot of
even with the suit and everything, huh?
Yeah, and he even tried to do a show called Mulaney. Didn't work, but he tried to do the same tactic. But no, he's hilarious.
That was a bad. That was a bad show.
My favorite joke of his is the joke where he talks about not proposing, and he said it's like the why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free. Remember? Have you heard that joke?
I'm sure I have. I love his old stuff. New in town and shit like that.
Which is a terrible expression. He's like, basically, it's like insulting to women, basically being like, why would you marry her if you saw sex with her? He's like, well, I kind of live with the cow, and the cow's like smarter than me, and like came from a family that knows how to argue. And he goes, and then I have to go to, like, when another cow gets sold, I have to go to the sale and bring my cow, and she does not enjoy it at all. Like, it's so funny. Good stuff. Bill Burr, again, he's another great one. He has a lot, like he just talks about getting a pit bull. Like, and again, like, that's storytelling. But
that
again,
was
like,
a great story.
But it's still a type of story that, like, makes a lot of sense. Like, he's basically like, I have this pit bull.
It survived in the wild.
Yeah, it was getting enough protein. And then he talks about how he loves the pit bull and, like, how happy he is to see him and stuff. Like, all that makes sense to me. Like, so I have a hard time when people just do, like, and that's my thing with Jeselnik, is a lot of his jokes, I'm like, no, you didn't.
It's not Neil Brennan. I'm trying to think. Nate Bargatze, big fan.
Also funny. Yeah, it's like, that's my style. It's like you could tell a story, but make it something like seated in reality, like to where you could picture it happening to yourself in a way.
So I don't like. It's the reason I don't like Joe Rogan, because he screams so much.
Bill Burr screams.
His is an angry scream, and it's well more controlled. It seems like Joe screams specifically to crackle the speakers.
Yeah. And the difference is, too, is his screaming's forced. And for a fact, I think Bill Burr just yells. Like
He's just mad.
Like in life, I think he just sounds like that in a way. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of this.
Bill Burr is one of my favorites, too. Bill Burr would be one of my top 5 comedians, probably.
It's crazy how much stuff he releases. Like he's got the Monday morning podcast, the Thursday podcast,
and Tom Segura is on my list. Tosh, I really wish did release more stuff. He's just kind of done, I think.
I think he's just kind of isolated because he doesn't need to.
I liked Dane Cook as a child.
I think Nicole left me signed in.
Like when I was younger, I liked Dane Cook.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Nicole fucking left me signed in on my Netflix and the last Airbnb we stayed at because my list is empty. Like legit, there's like 16 things on my Netflix queue. I've had my list going since I had Netflix in 2009. To have like 15 things on it, absurd. So I think she might have ruined.
You know, I think it's the most jarring thing when you find out that people are comedians that you like didn't know were comedians when they got their start.
Like Kevin James?
Yeah, like when you're randomly like scrolling through and it's like Steve Carell stand up and you're like, I'm sorry, what did you just say to me? Like, you know, people like that, you're like, I didn't even know you did stand up. But like honestly, I don't really like Robin Williams that much.
No, me neither.
I hate Gabriel Iglesias.
I like him much way.
Gabriel Iglesias is my least favorite comedian. And I don't say that as like he actually is my least favorite comedian, but like of people who like you're just going to inevitably be forced to listen to. You know what I mean? Like the other people find so funny. Like he got so big and I just wasn't into it. But yeah, I think that's my thing with comedians. Like don't be raunchy for the sake of being raunchy. Don't be negative for the sake of being negative. Don't cuss for the sake of the shock factor. Like, I want clever stuff. Like, Bill Burr has a ton of clever stuff. Tom Segura has a ton of clever stuff. Tosh, all of his stuff is clever. Because Tosh isn't much of a storyteller. He's a lot more of, like, an observational type comedy. Kind of like Seinfeld.
Can't think of this fucking comedian's name. He was
like with Tosh being like, if you can afford Whole Foods, you can afford another child.
James Acaster. God damn it, I couldn't remember it.
Like, if you can afford Whole Foods, you can afford another child. Like that's so funny.
It's very true.
Like it's so funny. Like I said, like that kind of stuff.
You bought organic, you're good.
And like he's negative in the way that like he rags on women hard. He rags on like, you know, different things. But it's not just random.
Talk about Bill Burr. He shits on everybody though.
No, I'm saying so does Tosh, but like I said, like they're negative but in a different way than like Jesselnick's negative. Jesselnick's like, and then I told him that he's a stupid idiot.
Yeah,
just like
he's negative for the sake of just being negative.
Yeah, for the shock, like he wants you to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. To me, I'm just like, I bet you can say that. You're a professional comedian. Like you know what I mean? Like I get it. I mean, the worst part is like once I've seen a lot of Jesselnick stuff, I'm like, I know what you're gonna say now. Like I'm listening to the story.
That's
like,
true.
I know the punchline.
It's not fresh anymore.
Yeah, it's like I get your I get his like his style.
His shtick.
Yeah, his shtick. Yeah, like his shtick is just he's gonna say something out of left field, but it's like not that clever because me listening to it, I know what it is before he. Gets
I think that's probably the big draw on
like maybe
Tom Segura because he's adapted so much. Like he enjoyed being the fat guy, and then he made jokes about being fitter, and then he made jokes about marriage, and then kids. Like as his life has changed, his comedic stylings have changed.
And again, he's mostly telling stories, but it's like kind of realistic stories. Like it's just like I was watching the first 48, and like here are my takes on the first 48. I was watching this Steven Seagal thing. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's
just I know a lot about that. Yeah. I love this. I did.
It's so good. Like the doctor. Like all those things are great.
Oh, you're fat.
He was the fattest guy I've seen today.
Are you gonna?
It's 8 a.m. Still.
You're gonna go back to him? Are you kidding me? He's fucking hilarious.
I love it with his wife. He's like, she won that conversation. It wasn't even an argument. I left feeling like crap. That's fantastic.
What's funny is I didn't realize until years of watching Your Mom's House and everything that oh, his wife's a stand-up comic too. Mm-hmm. Nowhere near as good, but
I like it when people marry for like not just for looks. Like Tosh clearly did not.
I didn't even know he was married.
Yeah, that's why he quit touring. Basically, he just is being married now.
I see him married to
lives in Vegas.
a hot Chinese chick.
No, you know who he's married to?
Don't tell me. I want to be shocked.
No, I mean the story is why it's amazing. Guess what she did for a living?
What his wife did?
Yep.
Engineer.
Nope. She was a comedy writer for the show Tosh.0.
Okay, first off,
I'm not saying she's ugly.
She's hot.
Well, I'm not saying she isn't. I'm saying that he met her through work. So, like, you know what I mean? That feels more natural, does it not?
Yeah.
He didn't just, like, go marry a ballerina. Or, like, you know, like...
Brain probably drew her in.
Yeah, I mean, he worked with her.
So they had to, yeah, so, like, they worked together, and...
She liked his humor, clearly. She helped...
She had to write for his stuff.
Yeah, so she, like... They had the same thing. He probably did terrible things to her on set, because if you watch Tosh.0, like, I don't even want to know what, like...
They've been married for a minute, too.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what the contracts have been. And that's why he's going touring. He hasn't toured in a long time. He does, like, very little...
Didn't you go see him on tour, like, a year and a half ago?
I did see him in November, but he does very little tours now. He's just in Vegas all year, and he does, like, a 3-month tour. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like... He's not grinding.
It's like it's like he got rich. He's like, I don't need it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to live.
He's not even American. How can you support him? He's fucking German.
He was born in Germany? I didn't even know that. He grew up in Miami, though. Like Titusville.
Well, now you know. Now you know. He's a Nazi.
Subjects: everyday life, human behavior, social awkwardness, sex, gender differences, racism, current events, pop. See, like that's all.
Well, see, what's not fair though, like it's marked as satire as his last one. It's really not though, especially Tosh.0. It wasn't. That was the whole thing of the show.
His comedic style is satire. Or you're saying it should be higher?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Like to put black comedy on there.
What does that even mean?
Considering he's not black,
yeah,
it shouldn't be there. Insult comedy, yes. Shock. To start, yes.
And like,
how do you feel about Bo Burnham then?
His shock humor is not that shocking. Like, it's not the like.
Well, because he's so openly, because he does racist humor.
Yeah, and so I guess it depends. It's not shocking to me as someone who indulges in a lot of stand-up.
So
you know what I mean? Like, because there are people like Jesselnick who like their role that was shock comedy.
So yeah, and it's to bring hate for no reason. I guess that's I think the biggest difference in views of Tosh and Jesselnick. One seems to be bred from hate, and one is lighthearted, picking on everybody.
Well, yeah, Tosh's is very tongue-in-cheek. It's a joke. And, like, you can tell he doesn't necessarily even believe half the stuff he's saying. To where Jesselnick, like I said, he's just saying...
He might have a burning cross in his backyard.
Well, and Jesselnick just saying evil stuff for the sake of, like, a shtick.
For a punchline.
Like, I'm just a jerk. Like, that's just shtick.
I think
Tosh is still likable.
Yeah, Tosh, yeah, he's not been canceled for the same reason that I think South Park hasn't been canceled. Like, if you're just saying shit about everybody and it's not from a place of hate, I think that's how you get it.
He said, I won't like you if he said, I don't like you if you ever say like nothing's funny about this. He goes, yeah, it is. If you write a good joke. Like, and he's exactly right. If you're funny, and I like how he said my comedic career is going to end with me saying something and people are like, oh, he thought he could say that? Nope.
Maybe that's something I like about Matt Rife when he does his observational comedy. He'll say something racist, and he goes, that's part of the joke. I'm not saying it evil, but like, dude, you like fat black girls. Clearly, that's part of the joke. You're a fat white guy.
Yep.
I have to talk about that. So maybe that's what my respect is, his strength on stage to talk shit.
No, I think he's funny. But my thing is, like, I think he's funny in the short little bits. I have my doubts that he'd be funny for an hour.
Well, you
In
can
the
watch
way
his
some of these
special
other-
free on YouTube.
I'll have to try. Andrew Schultz, hilarious. Did you see? He has a special on YouTube.
Wait, which one's? Oh yeah, dude. I've watched. Yeah, but talking about someone who grew on crowd work. That's his whole. That's how he developed his humor. Is crowd work.
He did some crowd work too, but he's so funny though.
Another person who will make fun of every single person and disability, but
again,
not
like,
bred from hate.
A lot of his stuff, like, I don't see coming. Like in that stand-up, like one of his crowd work, he said, like, he's talking to this guy, he's like, "So what branch of GameStop do you manage?" Like, it's so funny because the guy looked like a GameStop manager, and like it was awesome.
So I was listening.
Like it wasn't like
There's a YouTube video on
I
it.
saw on TikTok of someone making fun of Matt Rife, and he was talking to somebody, and they're like, "I'm gay." And he goes, "You're gay?" And he's like walking all around, being like, "He's like, no," like it was kind of funny.
Schultz is way smarter than Matt Rife.
Yeah, like Matt Rife.
I'll give you that credit.
It was similar in that when Dane Cook, everyone could just riff a Dane Cook joke and do it the exact same way that Dane Cook would do it. Because like Dane Cook is very predictable.
Andrew Schultz, I think, was a writer for some other show.
He was on Guy Code,
Yeah,
which was a great show.
that was there's a group of 4 dudes or something, right? And they're talking shit. And
Charlemagne the God was on it.
Andrew Schultz is brilliant. Who's only gotten his respect, I think, since the pandemic.
Chris DiStefano.
Yeah, the pretty blonde dude.
He was on Guy Code as well. Will Duvall was on Guy Code.
Chris DiStefano got famous doing that and the VH1 shit.
Yeah.
I love the 90s. I love the 80s.
Yeah. Guy Code was great. That was a great show. But yeah, Andrew Schultz, again, like
He got brilliant on. He got found big on Instagram because he would do kind of like the Minuteman with Barstool.
So you said you did see that stand up?
Which one? Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
I've watched a bunch of his shit
Because
he does a podcast too where he'll do.
Let me see what it's called.
He produces everything on his own, or he was, and a bunch of his like
Infamous is what it's
IG reels got famous. So like he released a special just of his IG reels of like ripping on current events.
called. It's called Infamous.
Yep.
Yeah,
With his little pedophile mustache.
Yeah, and he had the joke about like how much easier it is to make men finish compared to women. And he's like, if they kidnap my mom, and like you either have to make Sarah come, or like just whatever comes in, Sarah get some drinks. It's so funny. Like, oh, it's good stuff. I can't remember who the comedian was. Oh, Chris D'Elia. Which didn't he get canceled for something?
Yeah, pedophilia.
Not ideal.
It's not. It's statutory rape, sexual, suggestively sexual stuff. So
Anyway, he had a funny joke.
in the broad stream, yes, pedophilia.
He had a funny joke where he was talking about. He goes, I hate girls. Like, I like to have sex just as much as guys. I like to have sex as much as guys. And he's like, okay. And like this girl's like, I do. In the crowd, he goes, okay. Why don't you have sex with him? And he's like, see, that's the difference. He's like, you're like, oh. And he's like, where's she at? He's like, guys don't have sex with all the girls all the time. He goes, not some of the girls, some of the time. Not one girl all the time. Not all the girls, some of the time. All the girls all the time.
Which, what's funny is when he got canceled he did get cleared a lot of that shit, and he's done some stuff since. He's a good writer, but I think what made it look worse is he was on Workaholics for one episode. He made some jokes about suggestive stuff, and then it released that he was messaging like 17-year-old girls.
I like
Domino's Philly cheesesteak pizza. I love that
like,
pizza.
Kind of like Matt Rife, who are on the up and coming. I really like that Trey. Let me find him.
I think the best thing to happen to comedians is fucking Instagram Reels and TikToks.
Oh yeah, because you can do short. You can really air your stuff out to a larger group rather than just. You don't have to grind as much. Back in the day, like Kevin Hart was probably doing comedy for 20 years before we heard of him. Like Aziz was talking about that. He goes, yeah. He goes, everyone's like, wow, you came out of nowhere, and he's like, not really.
Yeah,
like,
I've been here
at bars for like 15 years. But yeah, I want to see. He's on the stiff socks.
So I feel bad for someone like Kevin Hart. No matter how good he was probably
Trevor Wallace.
Let me see the picture.
He's like
How do you call him Trey? Jesus.
I don't know.
Racist.
He's a white guy. First of all, you've seen him. He started out doing like TikToks, and now he's doing stand up, and he's actually so funny.
Oh yeah, dude. He got sued by White Claws.
Yeah, I know. Because what was the shirt he was selling that he had to quit?
It was a joke on White Claw.
I know, but I can't remember. Like something about blacking out on like something like
no laws with the claws.
no laws with the claws.
And the only thing he changed about the emblem was like he curled the wave more. And he's like, dude, I released a shirt. I released 7,000 shirts.
He was so hit or miss for me. Like with the like.
He's a sketch comedian.
Well, with the sketch stuff, he was so hit or miss for me. Then he started doing a podcast, and he's so funny. And
yeah, send me the link to his podcast.
It's called Stiff Socks. He just has porn stars on all the time.
Oh, come on. He does seem like that too.
Yeah. but like he does it like in a joking manner. Still, it's still funny. But he's funny, and then
so he should be on Barstool, kind of.
Yeah, and he's doing stand up now, and it's so funny. He was on a roast of. I forget who he's on the roast of.
I mean, I didn't know they still did roast.
Kreischer, I think.
I'll tell you, so many things do roast. So
I think it was Bert Kreischer, but it was really funny because he was talking about it. He goes, I just enjoy that I'm here with like, you and a couple other people who are like some of my favorite comedians' friends. and like Bert Kreischer's dying laughing, and he points to a guy named Donnie or something who's like was like really close with Chappelle and on the Chappelle show all the time. He's like, "That's you too." It's like that's so funny. He on the roast, like he was so funny, but he's probably flown up. Oh wow! Look at you.
Yeah, I met Bert Kreischer and I had a beer with him. I went to a roast of a radio guy in Tampa, and they had the roast for him at a beer vendor place, because they had like their own hall. It was so fucking great. Mike Cowhead Calta, who's on 102.5 The Bone every morning from 6 to 10. There was like 6 comedians there, and then what's funny, the funniest comedian wasn't a comedian. It was his fucking wife just shitting on him. She goes, I've got 15 years of shit to just shit on you for. And she did. And it was so hilarious. You know, in 2014, I wish cell phone cameras were better, because that's the only picture I got that was even like stable.
Yeah,
Very proud of that picture. And he's so nice. And Bert took his shirt off for the roast, put his LA Kings shirt back on. But roasts happen everywhere. I think everyone should go to a roast at some point, because you're going to get a bunch of people who know somebody who are going to say some intimate jokes.
Do you know what my least favorite roast was? The Jonas Brothers one.
Was that on Comedy Central too?
It was cringe bad. Like Sophie Turner went up and like had some joke about like Nick Jonas having like too big of a penis or something. He's like, shut up. That's not a roast.
Like, let me just pat this guy in the back some more.
I know, and like there was several things like that where like all the wives are basically like, oh, my husband's so hung, and it's just like, roll your eyes, like barf. Like that's not a roast. That's not.
Tell me the story about him shitting the tour bus.
Remember that time where you just made me come uncontrollably for hours? Oh, that was so embarrassing.
I was crying to you as you were eating me out. Oh, I couldn't handle it. It was so funny.
Oh, you made you're so embarrassed. I just, ugh.
Gag.
Like don't give fake.
What's? I can't. We really went a lot further in this than I thought we were going to do. It's already hour 6.
Don't do fake. Whatever it's called.
That's not a foul by Horford.
Shane Gillis. Have you heard of Shane Gillis?
He's been canceled twice.
Uh-oh. For what?
Sexual assault shit.
That's not good.
Is the redheaded guy, right? Or no, Shane. I'm sorry, that's Shane Dawson. Shane Gillis, I've heard he's an asshole.
This guy.
Oh no, yeah. He's not. I was thinking Shane Dawson.
Yeah, this guy's supposed to be funny, supposedly. Sandra Oh praises SNL for firing Shane Gillis.
Sandra Oh, she hasn't been anything since she left fucking Grey's Anatomy 6 years ago. Babe, how long is Sandra Oh been off of Grey's?
Will that show ever? Will that show?
Oh, yeah. So she left like almost 10 years now.
Remember, she didn't go to his funeral. I thought they were bring her back for his wake.
And she didn't come back when Meredith was dead.
Right? Like, she would have come back for that.
What a cunt. Fucking cunt. No, she didn't come back. She chose not to come back.
No. Shonda Rhimes fucked that up.
Why?
Christina Yang would have come back.
Why didn't she then?
Because Shonda Rhimes is the writer, man. I don't
Okay, first, she's not the writer. She's the showrunner.
Okay, I need to see a podcast of Nicole breaking down
Grey's
Anatomy. She seems pretty into it.
She's probably watched the entire series 15 times.
More than once is ungodly.
Well, we put it on a lot. It's like our go-to for.
Because isn't they aren't they hour episodes?
42
Yeah,
to
but like they're an hour on regular TV.
Yep.
And then how many seasons are there? 58.
19.
right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. At 20 something a pop.
Yeah, but last season was fucking great.
But is it 20 some episodes a pop?
You know why? Because Shonda Rhimes came back as the showrunner.
But is it 20
She
episodes a piece?
22 to 26.
Yeah, so like a normal season. That's ridiculous. That's way too much stuff to watch multiple times.
It's to the point now, it got so good like during the merger and Jackson was on there. Like there was like 6 years of just fucking power series. And then it got slow. The pandemic, it's hard to watch. Just because it keeps over inundated. But man, last season was good as shit.
They really rallied, yeah. It came back really good.
And now Meredith's gone.
Yeah, and like that's how you know the show's ending. Like
They've got spin-offs ready though, with Jackson Avery.
They do, but I mean, if you're a true Grey's fan and you watch Grey's since the beginning, like,
What's funny is like why you don't even watch Grey's for Meredith. Because she's in like 4 minutes an episode at most now.
yeah, but they brought in so many side characters, and like some of their side characters do well, and some of them don't. You have to think about all the people that have left now.
The fat white chick bartender, she was
They're
good.
going to try to cash that check as long as they humanly can, and they're going to try to do as many spin-offs as possible.
I'm sure.
The best thing that happened to them is that show aged at a time when nobody wants to be exclusive on like on ABC. So everything's now like stream only. So Grey's is still like #1 in the time slot every single year. So
And really, honestly, for a mainstream television show, it's pretty good.
You know, I want to say that, like, I think that, like, How I Met Your Father is one of my favorite, like, spin-offs ever. Like, I think it's one of the better.
I watched 2 episodes and I was
Like,
done.
but it feels like the same show, even though, like, they're not doing too many callbacks. Like, Fuller House, where it was just like, okay, calm down. Or, like, that
You
90s
got it, dude.
That 90s show, I watched the first episode.
That
and,
was
they
it.
just were, like, pumping us full of all the actors. And, like I said, like, How I Met Your Father has a good balance of, like, some callbacks.
At that point, how the 90s
90s
show,
just feels the same.
just get the kids off of it and just let me watch them as parents.
Yeah.
See, I do think like that's one of the things that I think like with Grey's that I wish that they hadn't gotten rid of Meredith, because I would like to see like what her life ends up like. Does she end up with Nick? And like
She chose to leave though. Like, you think they wanted her to leave?
no.
Do you think that they're going to have
For
For 20 years of the same person.
You should exit at the right time. Like you don't want to exit on a bad note. So I understand why she chose to exit when she did.
She's been wanting to leave. And it just caused her to be the highest paid person on TV for 3 consecutive years to even give her 4 minutes a week.
Do you think they're gonna have a successful like spin-offs as Jag did?
No.
NCIS, and then NCIS turns NCIS.
What's your
Los
favorite
Angeles,
NCIS?
NCIS, the original.
Gibbs.
I don't like any of them, let's be honest. But I am very.
Nicole doesn't like police procedurals.
I don't like procedurals. That's the word I was looking for. I'm not into them. Because like it's just like bam, bam, bam episode.
But you know,
Bam,
I love NCIS LA because I love the characters.
I like Psych. That's like the one procedural I'm really into. I like that one.
I used
'Cause it's funny,
I really
it's-
watch like Law and Order, and I used to watch CSI, but like
Those are yeah, but I don't get it. If they're on, I watch. I don't.
See, Psych. has
Take
enough
time of my block to
Psych
watch.
to me has enough comedy to keep me in.
I think it was the intriguing aspect of like the observational stuff. Like, oh, there's 13 outlets in this room because my dad is an abusive detective.
Like, I enjoy watching that more than I enjoy watching like just a regular cop show. Who killed him? I'm like, I don't know, probably the person that we talked about a little bit in the beginning, who you don't expect.
The strength of Grey's, it is a medical procedural that also has an overarching storyline behind it.
Like Scrubs. Like, no way.
My car? Why would you take my car?
I'm parked behind the one on the right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
She sent a text that she had a super low air in her tire.
I don't know. I know nothing about taking my car. She could, but then she better be back.
Yeah.
I heard a car honk a couple times.
It's down to 12. I don't know why she would leave it there like that. She didn't come in to get the air thing?
No, she looked over and then walked right up. So I hope she took. How is it just now? Like, so she didn't say nothing to me. How I just got a new text message.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a procedural, there has to be enough overarching stuff that I care about.
I think NYPD Blue was one of those first
Like House.
police procedurals that did well. Right.
House had
Well,
House had
NYPD Blue
enough
came out
overarching
years
plot.
before that.
They had enough overarching plot that I was still interested, and then also it was just like ridiculous stuff happening, and again, it was kind of funny. Like,
And-
NCIS to me isn't funny. And
Nope.
I don't care about any of their lives, and then it's just
Well,
like,
House also did ridiculously obscure stuff that has happened that is in medical journals that no one diagnostician would ever find, but have happened over the last 300 years. It's like, oh shit, he had
he's just a really good character.
this patient's completely crazy and psychotic. Oh no, actually it turns out there's one tiny nerve in their ear that made it, you could hear all of your organs, which then Grey's did later on with Karev. What? Demi Lovato, the singer?
Yeah, isn't that who played the character?
I have no idea. But like Karev found it in Grey's, but it was done first by House in like 2009. So cool shit. But House got really they really jumped the shark.
Yeah.
It got really weird.
They all do.
But they finished that series great.
I mean, Ted Lasso kind of did.
Oh, don't say that. I've only watched the first episode, so don't ruin that for me.
I'm just saying
It's not what it was, huh?
darker than the past. I'm still enjoying it. 'cause
When
I
I'm
like the
alone,
show.
I watch that show. That's my go-to.
It's just
Because Nicole doesn't like it.
The first couple seasons were just uplifting and fun the whole time. This one has a lot more dark.
I mean, there's a whole lot of dark and anxiety attacks.
yeah, but it's just, they've really steered into that
Really,
season.
damn it. And we're gonna take a break for a minute.
This last one, we can end it. I mean, it's been an hour 15.
Oh, it's true. We can. And then I'll just beat your ass in Madden by itself, huh?
Yeah, I can do it I can do it in privacy. I can just lose alone. I'll
And
win this week.
that'll-
I'll be on and on.
That's true. That'll be the week. All right. Yeah, that's a hour 15. Perfect time. Great content. I think you guys should be lucky that you got to listen to this. And I'm going to turn on my favorite comedian that I know Zach has never heard of. You don't have to watch. He released 4 hour-long specials
You're like,
at
and it
one
is
time.
my father. And I'm just like, oh. Like, you know, something like that. It's like, and he's like, no, he's really funny.
You didn't know that. That's where I get my humor from.
You know, like that's like the cringiest thing, like that kind of thing. Like people are like, I'm gonna show you my music that I've made. You're just like,
It's
oh,
true.
okay.
Yeah.
I have 4 albums.
This is
You're just like,
yeah. Just follow me on SoundCloud.
just listen to me for an hour.
Thanks
All
for
right.
listening.
It's
to
been
the
real. It's been
On-Call
fun. It's been real
Podcast.
fun. Thanks,
Check
Nicole,
us out
for
on Twitter.
no one can hear while
On-Call
she's telling
Pod.
stories. Listen, she should be on the show.
Interested in being a
She should.
sponsor or want to be on the
Want a
show?
Grey's special?
Drop us an email at
man.
oncallpod@gmail.com.
It would take a-
Zach learns about Grey's.
For more
I've never
info,
seen an
go to
episode.
We couldn't-
I'm
oncallpod.com.
like, Patrick Dempsey, what's that about?
We couldn't get. Oh man, McDreamy. So I've watched the show so many times with Nicole. I know all the storylines, everything about it, and I skip seasons. I don't listen. I don't watch the first 3 seasons. If like Netflix, continue where you left off. Skip it all because I don't like Izzy. I don't like certain aspects of it. I love McSteamy. That's when Eric Dane comes on the show. The banter between him and McDreamy with no Yeah, we'll talk about it one day. One day we'll have a full-on breakdown.
My favorite medical show, probably Scrubs. Bethany's probably Doc McStuffins.
First off, Scrubs, great fucking show. Not the best. It's in the top 3. I would be pressed to find the top 3 and really pick. It depends on mood between ER, Grey's, Scrubs. Scrubs.
Those are by far the most famous 3.
Yeah, but it's mood dependent. Scrubs, probably the most realistic from a nursing perspective at the shit that goes on and the conversation with patients.
Because the show's not really about the
right.
diseases. So
ER, too much drama. ER is really not like that. Scrubs, about as much sex.
House is kind of getting snubbed on that list.
That's not a hospital that really, because that's a diagnostician's aspect. ER is in the ER. Scrubs has some ER stuff in trauma units. Scrubs is more real life of a med surg unit. House is too specialized, not realistic enough. Scrubs, that is how most of life happens. ER is too dramatic, but Grey's, there is that much sex going on in your hospital right now. Everybody, fucking everybody. Legit. Marriage is blown up. Doctors fucking residents, doctors fucking nurses, nurse practitioners fucking nurses, techs fucking nurses, techs fucking doctors. Like, dude, the episode of Charlie Day on Always Sunny in Philadelphia where there's the meme of him like legit in a hospital, that much sex is going on. Webs everywhere. I'm probably Eskimo brothers with somebody that's famous at Sarasota Memorial. It's crazy. Anyway, it's been real. It's been fun.